Now entering the Temple of Anubis. Now entering the Temple of Anubis.
Only through conflict you will KO.
Now entering the Temple of Anubis.
Only through conflict do we evolve.
Now entering the Temple of Anubis.
Only through...
Now entering the Temple of Anubis.
KO. KO. Thanks. Thank you. KO. You must be joking. Combo breaker.
Now entering the Temple of Anubis.
Rising uppercut. Hey there. KO. know that.
Hello.
Hey.
Alright, so yeah, this spot used to be easier, but the rocket punch change, it made certain rollouts difficult. So I was just saying, like, you can diagonal punch off of anything, like this, that, like literally anything. So I literally just looked at this, and I'm just like, wait, you could just technically do a diag off of this, and it'll pretty much work, unless the edge was really weird. And I'll actually show you a weird edge on, what is that map called? King's Road. Like, there's a spot where you can't do a diagonal punch at all. Like, it just doesn't work.
Now entering King's Road.
And it's because the way the geometry is made on it. So, this exact spot, I'm gonna walk on the edge and look how my character reacts to it. I just slide off of it. And, like, you could technically slam on it and then slide on it and then get more damage, but you could just do that. Anyways, you can't diagonal punch off of this. I'm pretty sure it's like literally impossible just because of the, like, I'm just floating on it when I'm on it. It's like a balance spot. It's not really like
I
a
saw you
real
do
edge.
something like that on stream.
Yeah, so I found out this edge isn't really an edge. It's just like a weird balance. It's like a weird balance spot, but like this is 100% an edge. You could literally walk on it, jump on it, and you could do a diagonal punch right here, but you can't do it here. It's because of the edge is fucked up. Like I'm pretty sure it's literally impossible. Like I've tried many times, I can never get it to work, and even if it does work, it might be really inconsistent. Like it's just impossible to do right now. Like,
So is there like a limit to how parallel you can be to the wall? Like if you want to do it to the side, you can always be like parallel.
Over here?
Yeah.
Or there?
Yeah, like you can look in the direction of the wall, like almost. But you don't have to be perpendicular.
Let me see if I could do it here. Yeah, this wall's also fucked up. I mean, you can do it in weird angles like that. I'm trying to think of a spot. Like, you don't have to be perfectly next to the wall like that. You could do it in like weird angles. It should just work just fine. And like with the recent rocket punch change, it also ruined one of his diagonal punch rollouts and made it a lot harder.
Did you find that the bug fix is helping, like with the sliders? Or...
Welcome to
I mean, it does, but I still get sliders. Like, it's just the way geometry is made on the map. That's the only reason why slides happen. Like, let me see if I could, like, okay, so I need to find like a really flat. Okay, so this is a perfectly flat wall visually. These little thingies, I don't even think they're solid. Like, you could just wait. Yeah, they don't look solid. So you could just kind of, you can see it's flat, but like, let's say whoever made the map, they added like one little ass pixel right here where it sticks out, and you just happen to punch somebody into that little pixel that you can't even see, they're gonna slide on the wall and take no impact damage. So that's pretty much what the issue is with sliders, is just the way the geometry is made. Like, even though the wall looks flat, geometry wise it's not flat, it's just fucking zigzags and all over the place that they fuck it up.
Let's get moving.
It's also possible you can hit like let's say there's a little pixel here where if they were to hit it, they just slide off of it. So they hit it, they slide, and then they hit a flat wall at the angle where you could take impact damage, and then they'll take impact damage. So technically, if I can hit somebody here and they bounce off of it and hit this wall perfectly flat, they'll take impact damage. It's really weird, but I'm gonna show you the spot they fucked up with the rocket punch change. Well, it's not they like specifically fuck up spot. It's just the way this diagonal punch used to work. But you'll be able to see the difference. That's what happens mainly. Before you used to go easily into the air, but it's a lot more difficult now. Now you just kind of go over the car. I mean, I guess it's unexpected because you can kind of crouch, charge your punch, and then jump and do that. Like, I just did a diag right there, but it's a lot more hard now. Wait a minute, what the fuck? No, never mind. But yeah, it's just a lot more harder with the rocket punch change. I'm pretty sure I made this one really difficult. You just
So, like, how are you finding the buffs in general? Like, do you think they helped a lot, or?
Are you saying like, how do I find the bugs?
Yeah, like, did your rank go up, or?
Wait. What do you mean by that?
Like with the cooldown changes and the knockback distance thing, knockback change. That I noticed it really helps with the rocket punch, like the knockback. It feels a lot better now, I think.
Oh yeah, the changes made his rocket punch knockback like 2 more meters further. I don't know if that was intended or if it was a bug, but I mean it's useful. Like I have had punches where they were literally like a meter off from hitting the wall and they don't even hit it. And it's like unexpected. You don't have to be like directly at the wall, as long as you could just fall down at a weird, it doesn't matter what the angle is. Diag. But I think if you were to be like more like straight with the wall, I don't know the exact word for it, like you'll go a lot higher with your diagonal. I'm not 100% on that. I never truly tested it. Leia, do you have any other questions? Because I'm about to hop off.
Oh yeah. I guess I should practice the diagonal thing in like custom games and stuff.
Oh yeah, just like there's like I showed you earlier, there's certain spots where it just doesn't work, so don't blame yourself for it not working. But it just depends on the whole edge. Like you can see, when I'm on the edge of this, I don't just kind of slide off. Like I'm actually able to stand at the whole edge of this, and that would mean I could diagonal. Like there's many ways to do diagonal punches, and I would go into custom games with a ping that you usually play at. Like obviously don't do it here because you're gonna be earning the wrong timing because you're gonna be on a different ping. But yeah, just go in custom games.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you as well, like, a lot of people feel like rollouts, like they think rollouts are really important, but in my experience, they seem to just kind of waste time a lot. Like, I can end up wasting time. Do you think maybe, like, rollouts are fun, but are they actually worth learning if you want to get good with Doomfist? Or is it just more of a fun sort of thing?
It's both, like okay, like let's say there's people here and shit, and like they're fighting you at the choke. Like you could do a legit rollout, which would be bouncing off of this car, and then 125ing on them like behind, and then you can literally get a kill out of it. Like it's cool, it's fun to do. You don't need it to be good at Doomfist. Like you can literally be a fucking punch bot. You can just be a person that does the slam shoot uppercut combo, and like you're just always good at positioning yourself with that. You can always set up your combos and you always have a way to escape. Because like if you go in, like I'm trying to see an example. Like okay, like let's say there's somebody right here in the stairs, and they're starting to walk up the stairs, come behind you. There's somebody here. You go through your combo, Now your uppercut in the air, you have rocket punch left to escape. You can't rocket punch there because there's somebody up there. You can't rocket punch here because there's somebody there. So you decide to go that way, which is your safest bet.
Rising uppercut.
And like just knowing when to enter a fight and when to escape with Doomfist is how you pretty much climb with them. Like, you don't need rollouts. You don't need to do like 125 slams. Like, it's not needed. You don't need to learn diagonal punches. You don't need to learn bounces. I mean, it helps because like for here, I don't have to just like uppercut to get up here. I can pretty much like bounce off of this and probably get it. And I just saved 6 seconds on my rocket punch.
Because like when I watched Daned and Cilps and like some of the other streamers, I noticed they don't really rely on rollouts, or they don't really use much rollouts as you. But I think you're much more interesting to watch because you go for like the really hard rollouts. But sometimes when I'm watching you, I feel like maybe you'd be even higher if you just played him with the right click. Like, you'll be more efficient.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I was at my peak with Doomfist, like around 43, 64, like I wasn't doing any rollouts. I was literally like just punch botting and doing the slam combo because I wanted to end in top 500. And rollouts is just really risky, but it's also really fun to do. And I ended up getting 2 bugs and dying, and that's pretty much when I gave up on trying to get top 500. I'm just like, this hero's fucking ass, okay? That's like the first thing. Like, I mean, I'm not blaming the bugs that makes me not be in top 500 because like there's literally consistent 4,500 SR Doom players, but like they don't really have a strictly a rollout playstyle. It's mainly just playing Doom the way he's meant to be played, like either flanking or punching or any of that, just like his combos and shit. Like I can do that, but that's not, I don't find that fun on Doomfist, and I'd rather do rollouts even if like I have to lose games. Like when there's a Pharah in the game on the enemy team, I strictly focus Pharah. Like I don't go for the win. I'll go for a Pharah. Like I just do that because I find that I don't really care about my rank or anything like that. Like I just
like you kind of go for the clips and like trying to get a good montage stuff, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Even if I didn't do montages, like I would still be doing I would still be doing like a playstyle, but like my playstyle is mainly going for clips. Even if it causes me a loss in the game, it doesn't bother me. Because like for me, I just find it as a number and logo. That's how I see it as, pretty much. Like I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Like I did want to get top 500 like since I started this game. Like I wanted an animated spray and top 500 like profile icon, but I'm just like, I mean, I could do it if I like decide to spend time to getting better in terms of like knowing when to get in and to get out and all of that shit, but like I just don't care at this point, so I just go for rollouts. Like even if it costs me the game, I'll just go for rollouts. Like I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like I don't know if you watched my video, but I just kept going for the same rollout just because I wanted to get like, I just enjoy the feeling of doing it, but
yeah,
I probably wasted a lot of time doing it.
It's I
mean, if in situations like that, I would personally like go in custom games and just practice it. And like, if you fuck up rollout, like okay, I'm gonna show you one rollout. There was a Widow up here, or no, there was like a Hanzo here, and a Widow, and I was over here. Was I here? No, I was here. I was trying to do this rollout and like to slam up there, but like I kept fucking up. I literally fucked that up 5 times in a row. But like, if I fucked that up once, I wouldn't bother doing it again if I truly wanted to like climb. But like I wanted to get this kill because it would have been sick, and I ended up doing this, and okay, that's cool. I ended up getting a Widow that was up there, and that was like a little clip right there.
Can I ask you as well, like, one of the main benefits of doing the rollouts, I think, is that you save your uppercut cooldown, so you can use that in as a damage tool. But with the cooldown changes, you have 1 second less with uppercut. So now it's kind of less important to save your cooldown, I guess. It's less of a resource that you have to kind of save.
I mean, I only find it just 1 second difference. Like, I'd still rather use my rocket punch to get to a high ground. Like, right here, I can do this. Like, if I was here, I can uppercut, stop here, and my cooldowns are at 6 seconds. But, like, if I'm here, like, I know I can consistently do a diagonal punch, and I could just get up here in 4 seconds, and my cooldowns come back, and, like, I'd rather always try to use my rocket punch to get to a high ground, or I'd rather try to bounce off of something to get up there. So like, I was looking for a bounce off. Like, I'm pretty sure I could bounce off of this to get up there if I were to hit it at the angle. Probably this, but that might be a little difficult. But like, I know for a fact these things you could easily just bounce up here and get up here with rocket punch only. And like, that saves the whole uppercut. Not even like just do a diagonal punch.
Rising uppercut.
This edge is weak as well. Yeah, this edge could just slide off of it.
And you know, when I'm watching your YouTube, like I see you have all these videos of new bugs and things. Like, how do you discover these things? Do you just like randomly try out different things and eventually you come across a technique and like you try and reproduce it? Or
any bug in specific that you want to ask, or is it just
like I see you have a lot of different techniques for like slam, increasing the slam damage. I tried doing them, but I think I kind of struggled. But I was just wondering, like, how do you figure these things out in the first place? Because you seem to be really good at like discovering new things.
Well, a lot of these Doomfist bugs that you see, like,
Anyone out there?
I'm trying to think of it. Like, okay, diagonal punches, okay, like, everybody has experience. Like, if you play Doomfist, everybody has experienced an unintentional diagonal punch where you just rocket punch at something. Like, let's say there's somebody here, you're like, ooh, let me hit him, and you just go up in the air and you're just like, wow, I missed my rocket punch on him. I just went diagonally into the air, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Or you're chilling up here or whatever, and then you charge your punch, you drop down, and you just diagonal punch again, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And while, like, during my 40 plus Doomfist bug video that I was making, when I got a diagonal punch, like, I was watching it, like, cause I was watching, like, every single clip of the bug video to make sure, like, everything's all organized and stuff like that, and I noticed when every time he did like a little diagonal punch, he hits like a little edge and he goes diagonally into the air. And it wasn't the first time where I questioned, like, how is this possible? Because like, I've gotten a diagonal punch before, and I was playing with Cart, and I told Cart, I'm like, yo, look, this looks super useful. Like, imagine if we like figure out how this thing works. And the exact spot where I got the idea on trying to figure out diagonal punches was here. Because it happened to me on accident. I was just chilling here. I just charged my punch, and I literally punched like, into the air, and I was just like, what the fuck? I showed Cart and everything. We were literally punching everything. We were just like trying to figure out like, what the fuck? How do we do this again? Like, we can repeat this one over and over and over. And then we're like, maybe it's like a certain spot that it only works at. Like, you can't just do it anywhere. And like, we were trying everything. We were just punching at everything. We were trying to like beat it. We just couldn't get it to work. And this was like months before my Doomfist bug video. And pretty much when I was editing it, I just saw the way it was working. And I'm like, let me test that out. Like, I tried to repeat it at the same spots and shit, and like, I got it to work. I tried jumping at them, and like if I was to go here, and I just pressed space, and I'm like, oh shit, wait, it's working. And then I tried dropping, and like, that also was working, and I'm like, dude, like, this is actually like a really big find, and it's really useful. Wall slams, so wall slams kind of existed before, but nobody really thought about like like a lot of these diagonal punches and all these Doomfist bugs, like we all experienced it before, but like no one tries to put the time and effort into figuring out how they work and abuse them as a trick, pretty much. And that's pretty much where I kind of come in, because in general, I like to find bugs like, on any game. I literally go out and find bugs and stuff like that. So somebody posted on the Doomfist Rollouts Reddit page where you can come over here and slam through this window, and this happens, and like this was the first time somebody like found out that when he tried to slam through here, he kind of gets stuck and then he falls down. He does a shit ton of damage, but like that was the first time somebody intentionally was trying to do a wall slam. But this was the only spot that was really ever posted. Like no one else figured out how they work and what you're supposed to do and like how else can you use it elsewhere. And like even I was using this spot, like whoever, I don't know who posted it, but like even I was just using it, and I'm just like why, how does it work elsewhere? How does it actually work? And like it literally works anywhere if you just do something at the right angle. Like you could just drop, then do that. Now with the hop slam, you can find shit with the wall slam, and it's just like I don't know how to explain it. It just comes to your mind.
Yeah, it is really interesting. Like how I was reading the comments on your YouTube, and people were arguing, like they were saying you didn't discover this, like people were doing it before, but I think people didn't really try to put it to use like in the way that you did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's like everybody has experienced that. Like everyone has experienced a bug where you try to slam something and you just fall down with your slam. Like it's literally happened to everybody that's ever played Doomfist. If not, then I mean you must be fucking lucky, or you just, I don't know. But like all these bugs literally happen to everyone, but nobody has tried to figure out how the bugs work. So like that's the difference. Like, yeah, somebody else might have done it before me. Shit, somebody who picked up Doomfist on the first day probably got this bug first. But it's not like they figure out how it worked and shit. Like, that's the difference. And anytime I get any sort of bug, I always clip it. And if it's like a brand new bug, I'll like watch it in slow-mo and try to figure out how it works. And then I'll try to abuse it as a trick. Like, my biggest find was pretty much diagonal punches. Like, that thing just changed everything. Like, it opened up Temple, a shit ton of rollouts. Crouch slam was pretty good. That got patched pretty quickly, though.
And I think I read one of your posts, you were saying that the Diag thing is actually a bug and they might fix it in the future, but hopefully they won't, I guess, right?
Yeah, so during the 40 plus Doomfist bug video, the devs actually replied to it. Wait a minute, what the fuck? Hold on. Okay, never mind. The devs replied to my 40 plus Doomfist bug video on the Overwatch forums, and I included the diagonal punches before diagonal punches were even a thing. Like before anybody was using it like as a trick and shit. Like I included it as a bug, and they confirmed that it is a bug. And like it's definitely a bug. Like that's really not intended, but so far they haven't patched it. But they did say they were going to fix it. I don't know if the devs know that we use it as like a little mechanic now. So like hopefully they don't patch it. But if they do patch it, we can just complain on the forums, and there's a chance they might revert it. Because Brigitte, she used to bounce really high in the air, and it got like completely removed where she can't bounce anymore. And then a lot of Brig mains were crying about it, and they brought it back, but she just doesn't bounce as high. But like she could still bounce pretty much. So like it might be possible with a diagonal punch.
Yeah, it's kind of a skill-based thing, so it kind of adds to the depth of Doomfist. I think they should leave like those kind of bugs. They should just let you.
Even when for like late slam, which is, you know what that is, right? Hopefully.
I think so. I watched your video on it, but I'm not sure if I completely understood it.
Alright, so like right now, if I were to just jump backwards or walk backwards and get that little indicator, I'll do 65 damage max. But if I were to press my if I were to press my slam button as late as possible to get caught on this wall, or to get caught in like a corner, just to get caught on as many walls as possible, it can increase the damage of that indicator. You see, I went from 65 to 76, and like that's a really big difference. And I've always known that getting caught on walls does increase the damage of... Oh, okay, so that one that I just did, that one's a 1-frame slam. And It's basically when you press your slam button, like literally the last frame, like that you possibly can, and you ended up kind of end up just going under like that. So like you kind of just get combo when you fall. It's like a wall slam effect, but it works anywhere.
I was thinking about like the late slam and I think you have another thing like where you get stuck on walls and stuff to increase the damage. I was thinking about that. Like, it does seem helpful to have the extra damage, but don't you think maybe it can also slow down your slam, so it makes you more predictable, like your movement, so the enemy has more time to shoot you while you're doing that late slam, or it's still worth.
That's what a lot of people told me when I originally posted it. They're like, "Oh, you're really predictable, or you kind of just float in the air and you're gonna get stunned." But like, even in my comp games, like I don't get punished when I'm doing these walls and late slams. Like unless I do it at like a bad angle or I make it really obvious, then I get punished. But like, there's one on what map is it called? Boost. I think it's Boost. Yeah, Boost. Like you would think you would get hard punished for it, but like I literally never got punished using this. Okay, hold on, it's the other person. Hopefully I can get them all. Okay, hold on, it's the other one. Like, if you give it a try and like you get how it works, it's like it makes sense. Like, oh, you're floating in the air, you get stunned or whatever. But like, okay, this is it. Like this one's actually really useful. I try to use it every game, but for some reason I tend to mess it up pretty often. You can get a 125 slam on point by doing a wall slam right here. Like you would think it's you get punched for it, but like you really don't. I don't know. Like it's not because they don't expect it. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just that no one really. You just
think that it kind of changes your hitbox, because I noticed Doomfist has some bugs with his hitbox. Like when he's doing the uppercut, sometimes his actual hitbox can linger on the ground for a bit. So like sometimes I've been caught out by roadhog hooks and like things I didn't expect. Maybe that helps with that.
What do you mean by that?
Because I was reading somewhere that when you uppercut with Doomfist, your hitbox on the ground, it persists there for a little while. So, like for instance, if someone is shooting at you, directly at you, or your head, when you uppercut them, they can sometimes miss the shot, even if it looks like on their screen they shot you, because his hitbox isn't actually there. I don't know if that's confirmed or anything, but that's what I was reading.
I never heard of that. Oh yeah, and with the when they nerfed his slam distance where he does 65 damage, like that's pretty much when I was just like, that damage is really low. And I kinda knew about late slams, but like I didn't really use it like that. Like the way I was originally using like, so when slam got nerfed, like the damage on it, well, it's not really the nerf the damage, just the distance which nerfed the damage. Every time I was on high ground, I would always try to get myself caught on walls, like literally any type of wall. Like if I was to hit like a corner or something, I would try to get myself caught into like a door or something like that, just to get myself like 2 extra damage. And there was this one clip that I think Cart posted it, and it was Dan in Lunar Colony. He like dropped down and he slammed, and like he went under the fucking map a bit, and then he came out and like he did a shit ton of damage. Like I was trying to repeat it and like I didn't get how it works. I asked him if he did it intentionally. He was like, heck no. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck happened either. And I was like, oh, okay. So he like I was testing it over and over and he pretty much pressed the slam button as late as possible, which actually got him to get caught on a bunch of walls. And that's when I figured out if you just press space as late as possible, you can get caught on walls to do a lot more damage. And then with the one-frame slam, I'm not one-frame slams, with the wall slams where you always use like an indicator and you get caught on walls, like I've always fell off the map constantly. Like every time I'm like, oh, I'm about to hit this indicator slam, I get caught on the wall and I'm just like, okay, what the fuck? And I have a bunch of clips of me doing that, and I watched it in slow-mo, and like, I just understood how it worked. Like, I just pressed it as late as possible. I ended up hitting a wall at a certain angle, and it just makes you get caught on the wall, and like, that's pretty much how I figured out, just like watching myself do the bugs basically, and watching it frame by frame helps a lot, especially with the double slam. That one was so fucking hard to repeat. I literally spent like at least 5 hours trying to figure out how to do double slam. But like, it's not useful anymore with hop slam coming out.
Can you explain hop slam again? Is that what's the benefit of doing that?
Here, let me go on Dorado, because I know more spots there. So, hop slam, just in general, like, if you're in a position where you're, set up, let's say you're here, and you jump, like, you know how you get that little indicator when you're a certain height off the ground? You can either walk off, slam, and you get that indicator, like, you get 65 damage, but, like, if you're to do a hop slam, you can get more damage. So like, even though it's just a little bit of extra damage, like the higher you are on the high ground, the more damage you can get out of it. But now you can see I'm getting 71 there. I got 73 earlier, and if I was to just press space and slam, I get 65 or 60. So hop slam in general, if you're like in a position where you're kind of set up for it, like you could just walk, crouch, and like at the right time press space and E. It might be a little difficult. Like, I haven't mastered that. I haven't really put practice into that, but like, you can kind of do it like that once you master it. Like, you don't have to be like set up right in the corner and then do that. Like, you could just walk towards the edge and do it. It's a little difficult, but with hop slam, you can actually combine it with wall slam. So when I showed you wall slam, it's kind of like hitting your slam button at like a weird angle. So like, if I were to try to hit it right here, okay, this edge is kind of weird, so I might fuck it. Like, fuck. I don't know why my slam isn't working. Like, I'm not getting caught on this wall. Like, it doesn't matter how much I kind of try, it's just not working. But now, if I were to combine hop slam, I can do that. Like, I combine the hop slam with a wall slam. Like, you can do wall slams that you can't do without hop slam. So it's hard to explain. Like, here's like another spot that I tested. Like, you can do a wall slam here without the without hop slam, but I'll show you the results that you get from it if I don't fuck it up, because this edge kind of makes you slide off. So you see, I got caught on this wall. Did 81 damage, but like this wall is kind of in the way, so that means anybody here is not going to take any damage. So if you end up doing a hop slam, you kind of do, it's basically a double slam, but it's very consistent, but you do get less damage out of it normally. You can combine it with a wall slam, so a hop slam and a wall slam like creates like this crazy ass shit, which would be like fucking it up. Okay, wait, this should work. You see that? Like, I ended up getting caught on a different set of walls, and it pushed me over here, and I did way more damage than usual. Another map where you can't do a wall slam without hop slam would be on Watch Point.
Can I ask you, like, in a lot of these situations, wouldn't you, like, in the same time that it takes you to do these kind of slams, you could also just do the normal untargeted slam, you know, the slow, when you just press E and you're on the surface, that type of slam. Wouldn't you just be better off just doing that, like, because you can get 125 from just doing that?
I mean, yeah, you can. Like, it really depends on the situation. Like here, I'm gonna show you one example of what you mean. So if I were, like, let's say there's someone coming out here, and I don't know if you know, but if you do a jump and then slam, you get more damage than just pressing slam. Okay, so I'm gonna combine that jump slam together with the little normal arc slam or whatever you call it. Like, has like a billion names to it. And you see, I'm getting about 98 damage. I'm gonna do it without jumping. Oh, okay, I guess because I got caught that a little bit more. I got 106, 108, And I'll try with jump. Okay, I guess jumping without it for that spot would be better. But like, if you were to combine a hop slam with what the fuck? If you were to combine a hop slam with that, you can get yourself caught on the wall and actually do 125 out of it. It's possible, but it just depends on like the angle you hit it at. Maybe the distance too. Let me test that out actually.
So is it actually worth practicing all these things, like, or would you just be better off just practicing normal mechanics like your aim and things like that?
I mean, if you're at a point where you mastered aiming, you mastered your combos, you mastered like knowing when to go in and when to get out and shit, and you're just getting bored of Doomfist, like it doesn't hurt to learn. Like there's I'm gonna show you one rollout that somebody posted on Reddit where like, yeah, you could do the rollout, but
Welcome
you
to
can just slam, like, which is, I know what you're trying to say, like, it's not always reliable. Like, he showed me a rollout, I think it was here where he posted it, where he, like, did a diagonal punch, or some shit like that. I don't know if it was, I think it was here. Wait, did he climb this? He went a lot higher. So, like, he like, did a diagonal punch, went over this, and kind of got on this rocket. He did it 1.5, but like you said, you could just technically come over here and then do this, and like it's literally the same results, but like you save the rocket punch right there. Like the only time I would ever use a rollout like that was either if I wanted if I was in that position where I wanted to just slam over here from there, but like other than that, I'd rather just walk over here and slam like I know what you mean, like you don't have to do a rollout to do a certain thing, but like I just find it more fun. Like let's say there's somebody here, I have a bunch of choices. I can either do this, kill them with my combo, punch up here to escape. I can just rocket punch them, you know, find that like the boring part. Or I could do like some stupid shit where I could bounce off of this, get on here, and ended up doing a 125 slam on him. Like it's unnecessary, but I mean it's sick as fuck. And if I do happen to have like 3 targets there, I'll get like 3 shields, like 3 times the shields from my slam. But like I could technically just do this. I mean I could get more damage out of it, which would help me wipe out a team a lot more. So I could just put some shots and they're all dead. Like it's mainly for style, but like in certain situations it could be useful. Like somebody actually found a rollout right here, and you can either waste uppercut to get up here or try to bounce off of something to get up here, or what I did, rocket punch up here. And you could do a diagonal punch and you could bounce and you can actually go over the roof. But like I for some reason I can't do it. Whatever, you can get over the roof without uppercut, and then you can literally 125 slam and do your combo. Like, I mean, sure, that's cool. I mean, you could technically also do it here and get the same results, but like maybe it just depends on the position you're in. Cause it's not like you're gonna come over here and try to bounce and then like try to get up here and shit. Like I don't know, it just all depends. Like there is uses for rollouts, and there's just for the fucks of it, I guess, which is what I kind of mainly go for. Like I don't need to do a rollout for a certain kill, but like I'll just do it because why not? Like if there's like a widow up here, I could just uppercut, slam, and like put shots into her and probably kill her, and just lightly tap my rocket punch to get that extra shield to kill her, and I could just hide back here and wait for my cooldowns. Like, I don't want to do that. I mean, for one, it's a waste of an uppercut. Like, you don't ever know if you'll ever need it. But, like, I can technically just bounce off of this and do that. Like, it's a lot more funner, and it's a lot more difficult to pull off, and it just feels more satisfying for a kill rather than just, like, uppercutting, slamming, shooting, and, if needed, tapping my rocket punch. Or I could just do something like that. Like,
Yeah,
rollouts
I
are
think
useful and not useful.
yeah, like one of the main differences when I watch your streams and when I compare it to like Janed or Chips, I noticed their playstyle is a lot simpler. Like they don't really go for complex things.
Yeah, that's pretty much probably what keeps me at a lower elo. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's possible to, like, if I were more consistent with knowing when to go in and more consistent in landing my primaries, I think I could be like maybe like 100 SR higher than I usually am, but like I'd rather just go for style than go for a win, pretty much. It's just more fun. Like, I'm technically forced to play Doomfist on this account. Like, I don't like playing Doomfist anymore because like he's really buggy, he's RNG and shit. So like, if I'm gonna be like playing this hero, I just want to play him for fun. So I mean, okay, that's actually really fucking cool. Hold on, how the fuck did I do that? Oh, dude, that's actually really cool. I don't even know how I turned punch all the way down there. Oh wait, the rocket punch changed. Let me test it out. Oh, it does work. Okay, that's sick actually. I'm gonna put that in poster. That's actually really cool.
Hello. KO.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
You should use that in your next stream.
If I remember, like, even though I could technically do a rollout literally anywhere, like I could probably diagonal punch off of this thing. Yeah, I can. Like, oh my god, all these fucking like slams. Like, I just forget about spots I find or somebody that posts like a really cool shit. Like, I'll just forget about it. Like, even though it's so easy to do, even though I can just like look at something, be like, okay, I can do that, that, and that. Like, I'll just forget about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, I can watch a rollout and I can see exactly how it's done by someone else, but when it comes to playing in game, it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah,
exactly
it's
how
like
they did
it's
it.
not on your mind. Like, you have to change like your mentality pretty much, because like sometimes when I'm playing a game, I'm not even going for rollouts, and I'm just like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'll start like thinking, like I'll just like look at everything. I'll just be like, okay, I could bounce off of this, I could diagonal off of that, I can bounce off of this, I could probably slam over here with like a 125 if I like don't fuck it up. Like, I could do that. Yeah, that's stupid. Like, I just look at stuff, like, I know I could probably bounce off of this and, like, go for, like, really far 125 right here, like, I just start, like, looking at things and thinking of myself doing a diagonal punch off of them, or, doing, like, some weird shit with them. Like, I found that, I think you used to be able to stand on this, like, normally, but now it's, like, a balance spot, so it's kind of fucking weird, but, like, if I weren't to move for like for 4 seconds, I can like do some stupid shit. Like, I mean, it's whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you just think of them on the spot. Like, I have at least over 120 hours in custom games practicing rollouts, finding spots, balance spots, finding things I could bounce off of. Like, now I could just look at stuff and be like, I can do that. Like, this, I never tested this in a custom game before. I just did it mid-comp game. Like, I'm just walking, I'm like, I want to get up here. How do I get up there? I just look at everything. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can bounce off of this, and like, it works. You just bounce off of it. But it's not working for me right now.
But then,
Like,
if it's not completely consistent, you can end up, you know, wasting your rocket punch. So I guess you have to consider that as well. Like, you don't want to end up wasting it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's just a risk that you're probably gonna take. Like, it could be consistent. Maybe you're like, it could be just you not being consistent with it. Like, for me, I wasn't being consistent with it. I think I just found a way to make it consistent by jumping first and then jumping at it and pressing space. Like, now it's working every time. So like, now that I know that, I can combine that. Like, and not combine it, but like, I can use that for like you see how I get stuck right here sometimes. Like, if I just jump at it, I can just see, like, you could just look at, you could feel the geometry of it, and like, you'll know that jumping would just be the better choice to bounce off of it every single time. and like you can make it really consistent. Like you can combine it with other things, like you can make it into a fucking turn punch and do flanks with it. It just happens mid game, you know. Like a lot of rollouts I do I just think of it mid game because like I just don't want to put the time into finding spots. Like yeah, people find like really sick spots and shit like that. Like I don't know if you've seen the latest clip I had on Dorado. No, not Dorado, on King's Row. Like I did a diagonal punch and
Yeah,
also
I
on
saw
the
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Tora posted that on the Doomfist Rollout page, and like I never tried it. Like I completely forgot about it. And like once I was at that spot, I'm like, wait, I remember this. Let me try it out. And like I got 2 kills out of it. And it's like I could have thought of that spot on the spot. Like I didn't even maybe he never posted it, right? Like I could have thought of it on the spot, but sometimes it just doesn't come to my mind because that's not what I'm thinking about while playing comp. But sometimes I try to think of rollouts like on the spot, just for like the fucks of it. I'm pretty sure you could do like a Diag right here. I don't remember how it was done, but you can like 125 the point. I know you could bounce off of a spike. Might be. I don't know, maybe I could Diag. Wait, maybe I could Diag right here. Do a turn punch up there. I think that'll work. I'm close. There you go. I just instantly thought of a spot just like that. Like I was trying, like I don't remember how I used to do. There we go. I used to do that one before, but like I don't know. I just forgot how to do it. I'm not consistent with it. So like I'm just trying to think of like another way to do it. I'm just like I try to Diag right here because I know you could stand here, which is kind of weird, but you could stand here. You can also stand on this side. I mean, this one I actually find useful because you can slam right behind him.
I guess a lot of Doomfist is just like improvising, but when you play the rollout playstyle, I guess you just kind of have to improvise things on the fly.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, unless you want to like spend a bunch of hours finding every single thing you could bounce off of. Like once you fully understand how bouncing works, like you could just look at anything like I could bounce off of that without an issue, just like that. Like I've never done that in a custom game before. Like I could just look at it and know I could bounce off of it. It's the same thing with dagger punches. You could just look at it and you'll know it'll work if you just do it properly. And you could just start combining that into like mid game and shit. But you don't need a rollout playstyle to be good with Doomfist. Like I just do that playstyle because like I find it fun. That's what I find fun about Doomfist, even though I fucking hate Doomfist. Passion.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I don't think he'd be that enjoyable if I just played him, you know, using the right click only or.
Yeah, like I don't find that fun at all. Like it's more effective, sure, but it's just I don't find it fun. Like that's not why I play Doom. Like I don't play. Like literally the top 3 heroes that I'm like main is Genji, Tracer, and Doomfist. And, like those heroes is what I find fun. Like Genji's dash reset, like that shit's really fun to pull off. And you like dash into someone and get a reset, and you quickly dash into somebody else. Or Tracer's blinking like 180 and all that, and then meleeing them for kills. Like I find that satisfying. And like Doomfist is really unique because like all of his rollout potential and like the way his bugs are, even though a lot of the bugs he has aren't in his favor. That's the only reason why I really hate Doomfist. Like if Doomfist had no bugs, then his playstyle was like super consistent. Doesn't matter if you do rollouts or if you do punchbotting or just regular combo. Like if it was just all consistent, Doomfist would be such a good hero and literally the hardest hero, even harder than Tracer.
But then I guess it would also make him overpowered. Like if everything was working exactly the way it was meant to, then I guess the bugs are kind of yeah.
Like if he was consistent and not full bugs, like slides weren't that consistent, slam registers weren't consistent, uppercutting people and they go higher than you or lower than you. Like if that was all consistent, Doomfist would be easier to play in terms of his regular play style, which would be rocket punching people or his slam and combo. Like it would be much more easier to play, but like if you pick up Doomfist, you kind of have to know his bugs and learn to adapt to them because they take their sweet fucking time to fix them. Like, I know bug fixes are like not easy, but from the way they were fixing the bugs, I can tell they don't give a shit. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but you remember the knockback changes with Diva and Orisa, like when they're shooting and you punch them, like they'll just go like 2 feet, like that.
Yeah.
That bug existed forever. It's been reported several times, and they didn't fix it until they fixed all the knockback changes. Like the like now Doomfist can punch a Diva, and even when she's shooting, she's gonna go back where she's supposed. She's gonna fly back. Like that's how she's supposed to be. And that should have been like that a long time ago. Like they fixed it only when they were fixing every single knockback change. Mercy flying in midair, when you uppercut her, she could still fly. And like I reported that bug, and people were saying, "Oh, it's not a bug, it's not a bug." But like they fixed knockback changes. It was a bug. The devs even confirmed that it was a bug. And like if Mercy's flying and you uppercut her, she's gonna stop flying towards your team, and you'll have control over her. It's like these bugs existed since day one on Doomfist, and it's been reported several times. It's just that they aren't fixing them. They rather fix stupid visual bugs rather than fix Doomfist.
You think they kind of don't fix it on purpose because they know that if they did, then you know the hero could become too overpowered. Or sometimes they just leave bugs in, probably.
I mean, I don't know about them not fixing it because they might be overpowered. I just feel like they either don't give a shit because like majority of their money goes to Overwatch League, and that's like where they make their most money probably. Like look at Widow. She literally one-shots people across the map every 1.5 seconds or so, and like you don't need that much skill to play with her. You just need good aim. Like literally every hero in the game needs aim to be like semi-decent with, especially Doomfist. Like if you can't land your primaries on Doomfist, you're not gonna do anything. And Widow literally one-shots people across the map, but like nobody complains about it. Nobody says how she's OP. And like yeah, maybe a few people do, but like for me playing Doomfist from Genji and Tracer and all that, like when I pick up Widow on my ult, like I don't play Widow on my main account, but like when I pick her up on my ult account, I literally destroy people like with no effort whatsoever. Like I feel like it's disgusting. Like when I'm playing Doomfist, I'm doing all of these combos and shit just to barely one-shot somebody. And I'm playing Widow, I'm just holding right click and left clicking, and like I'm literally one-shotting their whole team with no effort, and I'm just like, okay, this is actually really overpowered. I don't know why people don't complain about it more often. Like, she really needs a big nerf. And like people complain about Doomfist being OP because like, Doomfist is super annoying when like you're going against him, especially as a support. Like, but the thing is, Doomfist is really, his hitbox is huge. He's a very loud character. You can hear him across the map, and he has a very predictable playstyle. Like even if you're punchbotting or doing a slam combo, like gonna be on the high ground, he's gonna slam at you, he's gonna uppercut you, like that's all predictable. You only need 1 CC, 1 Brigida armor, 1 Zarya bubble to stop his full combo. Like that's all you need. You just need one thing, 1 CC or just one Zarya, 1 Brig just to stop his combo, or his flash. Like that's all you need. This is so easy to counter, and people still complain about it. But like, have Widow one-shotting across the map, no effort at all, very hard to get to, and she has a little hook to escape, and it's just like, I don't know, people complain about the wrong things. They say that Widow is a lot more harder than Doomfist, but like I don't find that true at all. She's such an easy character to play. It's not hard to pick up. Like there's a lot of people in top 500 that play Widow because she's really powerful.
I think one of the reasons people complain more about Widow is kind of, she does have the one-shot potential, but it's instant, isn't it? Whereas with Doomfist, you know you're going to die, but you're locked into that CC, so it's kind of more frustrating to be killed by Doomfist. I guess that's one of the reasons people complain so much about Doomfist.
Yeah, like I have people complain, but like, oh, I can't like there's Ana players that complain about Doomfist, but like this was like a while ago. I was at like 4.0 and I have this 3.9 Genji player on my team, and he's like hard stuck 3.9. Like he's never went anything above 3.9. Like he always peaked at 3.9, and he's like, I kept getting slept by their Ana. Like, she would literally 180 sleep me mid combo every single time, and I was like bringing it up. He's like, oh, why do you keep getting slept like that? And I'm just like, oh, she's literally 180 sleeping me every single time. And like, this dude peaked 4.4 with Ana and shit, and like, he just happened to drop. I guess it was probably DK or whatever. I don't even know, but like, he happened to drop a bit, and he's like, dude, Anas can 180 sleep you every single time. And I'm like, okay, this guy's at 3.9. Has never went against 4.4 or top 500 Ana players. Like, there's a huge difference. Like, every 50 SR, there's a big difference in skill level. He's trying to tell me that Honest can't 180 sleep you every single time. Like, look at fucking ML7. This dude predicts Tracer sleeps literally every single time. Like, I'm not saying, like, predicting Tracer recalls and shit like that, or blinks. Like, that's difficult to do, but, like, as Ana with her projectile and everything, like, that's really difficult to do. And, like, he does it very consistent. Tracer recall. Like, if you get a 3.9 on a player, they won't be able to do that. And like, that's the reason why I called him like stuck at 3.9. Like, he doesn't know there's people way better than him at a higher SR. Like, even if they're a 4.1 hard stuck Genji, they'll shit on that 3.9.
Yeah. That's kind of one thing I don't fully understand. Is like, you know, the difference between, say, 2.2 and 2.5, I guess, would be less than the difference between 4.0 and 4.5, because it's like, the higher you get, the more relative skill difference, because you're kind of reaching the cap, if you know what I mean. Is that something you experience?
I think even at a lower elo, it makes a difference. Like, I don't know if you know, there's people that are hard stuck in silver. And then there's people hard stuck in bronze, and just a bunch of SR apart, like not even that big of a difference, maybe just a few hundred. And it's like, they're silver for a reason and they're bronze for a reason. They're skilled. Like, even though they're both at a lower elo, like, one is better than the other in a certain way. And like, even if it's at a lower, so like, it still makes a big difference. It's just different per person. Like you can have two plat Doomfist players. One of them can be bad at doing his combos, and one could be good at doing his combos. But the one that's good with his combos is bad at positioning and knowing when to go in, and the one that's bad at doing his combos is good at positioning and knowing when to go in. And like, you have to figure out why you're stuck at that elo. Like, even if it's just a few SR apart or the same elo, it's not like you guys are at the same skill level. Like, both of you are completely different Doomfist players. Like, even McCree's, when I used to play Tracer a lot, whenever I go against a McCree, you have to learn their playstyle. Like, there's certain McCrees that would count how many times you flash, how many times you blink before you flash, and there were certain McCrees who would figure out your blinking playstyle, and like, they'll know you'll blink through them, so they'll actually turn around before you even blink, and they'll throw their flash and you'll blink into their flash. And there's people, like, you just have to like learn their playstyle, and like, people are at a certain elo for a reason. You just have to figure out why. Like, even if it's just a few SR apart, there's a skill difference there.
Yeah, when I watch your streams, it's really cool how you predict the Tracer blinks and everything. Like, I can never predict them that well. It's pretty cool.
Well, the only reason why I know how to do that is because I used to play a lot of Tracer, and I just like figure out how she's played. Like, I know a Tracer's play. Like, even if it's anybody Trace, like, I can figure out the play style. Like, I don't know, like, you can even force them to blink into where you want them to blink. Like, let's say we're in find a nice juicy, like, let's say we're in here, this little stair area, and there's a Tracer like right in the middle of the stairs. She has two choices. She can blink backwards or forwards. And if I'm charging my punch and looking at her, she can either try to do like a double blink to blink backwards and then back into there, but like by the time she does that, she'll get punched. And like, usually if I'm charging my punch and looking at her, she's just gonna blink through me behind me, and I can just do a 180 and punch her easily. Or like recall wise, like I said, like, I used to play a lot of Tracer, so like, I know where my recall's gonna put me at. So when I'm watching a Tracer, I know where her recall's gonna put her at, just cause I used to play her a bunch, and like, I got used to where, like, you need to know where, if like you're a Tracer player, you need to know where your recall's gonna take you. Because you can recall to put yourself back into a good position, or you can recall to put yourself in a position where you can kill somebody.
I'm just trying your late slam technique. I think I managed to do it. Kind of.
Oh yeah, this is the spot where Dan did it. He was like, right, this was old Doomfist range time. Like, he dropped down here, and he slammed, and like, he went under this whole platform, and he came up, and he went there with like a 125. Like, I couldn't do it, but he kind of got caught on like the corner of this. Like, I can never do it. Like, Cart got it. Like, even with new Doomfist, Cart got it, but I just couldn't do it. But yeah, pretty much wanna, like, if you're to just get yourself caught on as many walls as possible, you can do a bunch of damage. Like, okay, like right here, if, like, you see how I'm falling down with my slam? Like, I'm trying to do a wall slam, and like, well, like, he did it right there. Like, I think he probably got, like, between 80 to 90, but you could just technically do this, and you'll get more slam damage. Like, you don't need to do that, like, over, like, that rollout. It's just, like, a bunch of it.
Do you think maybe we'll see more of Doomfist in the Overwatch League in the coming season? Because I guess the Ghost meta is kind of a lot less powerful now.
Well, to be honest, I don't care for Overwatch League. I don't watch it. I don't know anybody in Overwatch League. I don't like if I get somebody from Overwatch League on my team, I'm just like, I don't even know them. Like, I don't know who they are. Like, I just don't care about Overwatch League in general. I don't watch it at all. I don't like watch people play video games. That also means I don't watch any streamers in general. It's the same. Sometimes people bring up, oh, but you watch, but like, I don't even watch sports. Like, I care about sports. You better go out and play the sport than watch it. Like, I don't mind people playing a video game fun. Like, I get how people like watch certain players and shit to get good at like a game or whatever, but like, I can just look up a tutorial of whatever game and get the same experience in less time. I don't know, I don't see the point of watching streamers for Overwatch League. And like, I hope it doesn't even get popular, because people are gonna cry about Doomfist more if he's more of a popular pick. Like, before, like in season 9, like, he was a shit hero still. Like, he was considered a shit hero. Every time you pick Doomfist, people are like, oh, get off of Doomfist, you're troll picking, whatever. And all of a sudden, Sombra gets buffed, Brigida comes out, Doomfist somehow becomes played more, and everybody hates Doomfist, calling him OP, but like, every single season he gets worse and worse, because the heroes they're buffing, the heroes they're releasing are countering Doomfist more and more. Like if we can even look at every single buff and hero they release. Sombra's right click got buffed, she hacks you instant. More people played Sombra, that countered Doomfist. Rick got released, that countered Doomfist. Flash right click combo, that countered Doomfist. Reaper getting buffed, that countered Doomfist. Like, literally every single thing they release and buff counters Doomfist more and more, and that just makes Doomfist worse, but like, people are still playing Doomfist more. Now, what I think was making people play Doomfist more is pretty much the more popular Doomfist players, which I would say were Nita and Chipsa, and sometimes people on Overwatch League would pick up Doomfist. Like, they made Doomfist look fun in terms of like a rollout wise. Like, I'm not saying it's only me, but like, I've had a bunch of people like on my YouTube comment like, oh, I play Doomfist because of you now. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, but like, if you have people like that picking up a hero because of a YouTuber or Overwatch League player or a streamer, that hero gets more popular and popular, and it just makes them play them more. And like, Doomfist wasn't really much of a hero that was picked often, so like, when Doomfist just came out of nowhere and everybody was playing Doomfist, nobody really knew how to counter it. Like, you know how like every time a new hero gets released, nobody really knows how to counter it? It was kind of like that with Doomfist. Like, he just came out of nowhere with popularity, and nobody knew how to counter it, and every single season he would get countered more and more with the heroes they were buffing. Like, I even have people in like custom games and quick play games say like, oh, I play Doomfist because you know, I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that gets that. I'm pretty sure Dan gets that, Rendito gets that. Especially Rendito, since he has more of a rollout playstyle, and like, that's what makes Doomfist seems more fun, just because of that playstyle. And he's a lot more popular, so...
Yeah, I find that you're a lot more entertaining to watch than Chips, because he just does the same thing, same sort of thing over and over again, whereas you go for these different things.
Rising uppercut. Thanks.
But yeah, it does seems like your stream is kind of taking off, like becoming really popular. Would you have any tips in general for becoming a streamer? Like if you want to stream Doomfist and become popular?
So I didn't want to stream at first. Like, originally I was gonna stream when I got my desk set up, but like for some reason Doomfist 3, like I was making montages, like Doomfist montages, which is 1.0 and 2.0 for like my friend basically. Like people always just tell me make another one, make another one. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Like I didn't make it for anybody else. Like I wasn't making it for fans or anything. And for some reason Doomfist 3.0 just got on people's recommended list, and like the video blew up, and like I was getting a bunch of subs, and I was like, I should use that opportunity to create like a Twitch account and stream me playing Doomfist, and like that's pretty much what I did. And I just kept advertising my stream. I found like a bunch of like rollouts on Doomfist Reddit page. Like I don't even really post up there anymore, but I found a bunch there. And like I just kept advertising my stream pretty much like on my YouTube, because like I don't know why my montage just got on people recommended list. Like I didn't do anything different, anything special. Like it's literally the same thing from 1.0 and 2.0. Like they're all the same. But, like I don't know, I just got lucky pretty much. I didn't want to stream until I got my desk, but I ended up streaming when like before I even got my desk. Like I used to play on my bed. I don't know, I would say I just got lucky in terms of views. Like I didn't do anything special.
Yeah, I guess a lot of it is just kind of luck, and if you happen to just take off, there's no kind of formula to it, I guess.
Yeah.
I never understood how you play on your bed. Like, doesn't it make it difficult aiming and stuff?
I mean, to a certain point, yeah, I had to play at like a higher sensitivity. But I mean, I got used to it. I mean, it was actually more comfortable than playing on a desk right now. And I also feel like finding like the new tech and shit on Doomfist helped out a bunch as well. Like especially with diagonal punches, like that video blew up a lot. Like that changed his Doomfist like playstyle so much. Like especially the person who found out bounce. Like I don't even know who found bouncing, to be honest, but like that changed Doomfist a lot. Like before the PTR Doomfist, he used to bounce and hit the skybox every single time if you were to try to do a bounce. They ended up nerfing it and reducing it so you don't hit the skybox. But like I don't know who found bouncing, but like that definitely changed Doomfist. I think. What the fuck? Did you see that? Wait, I think I know what that was. That was weird. I don't know. That was weird. I don't really see a use for it though. Oh, yeah, I got it again. I don't see a use for it though. Also, crouch slamming was pretty useful, even though that got nerfed. Or removed, I guess. I'm gonna show you something useful. If you come here, and you press space and slam in, you can get a 125. I try to use it as much as, like, I want to get more clips of me doing this.
I think I might struggle because of my latency.
You're doing it. Here, stand like Hold on. Stand like right here, then just press space and then slam.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. I was doing it the wrong way. Like, yeah.
If you learn the timing, I would say learn the timing, and like you're paying, you can press, like if you press your slam button at the certain height of your jump, you can kind of almost hit this roof, and like that gives you a bigger arc, and you'll get 125 out of it instead of like 100. Like you just have to figure out when to press your slam button at the peak of your jump. Cause like, if you press your jump button like too early, you're gonna get like 110, and if you press it too late, you're gonna get like 100. You just have to find out that good timing.
I wanted to ask you about something as well. Like with other heroes, are there any particular heroes that when you play them, like the skill transfers to Doomfist? Because I was thinking of picking up Wrecking Ball. Cause a lot of his abilities seem really similar to Doomfist.
That's. I mean, from my personal experience, I would say no, just because, like, I can, like, it's clear I can play Doomfist at GM level, but if I try to pick up my other mains, which would be Tracer and Genji, I won't be able to play as well as I can with them, because, like, I'm going against, like, my Genji and Tracer are pretty much at a master level. I'll probably say low master to mid master level, and playing those heroes at a GM level is not going to help me at all. Like, I'm going to be going against really good players. Like, I guess I can learn more game sense because I played Doomfist at that level, but it's not like it helped me. It's not like it's helping me climb more or be a better hero with other characters, because like they have different plays. I think Hammond has a way different playstyle than Doomfist. Like, yeah, he has like rollouts and shit, but like in terms of game sense wise and the way he works, it's just completely different. Like they're both similar in terms of you can hard feed or do a lot, but like they have completely different play styles. Like when I was picking up Hammond on my alt account, I pretty much got like plat with Hammond. And then I just saw, I'm like, okay, I'm already bored of Hammond pretty much. Like my MMR was basically plat. And I just started picking up Genji and Tracer on my alt account just to get them to a GM level so I can stop playing Doomfist.
And one thing I noticed is that almost every single Doomfist player I've seen, like the best ones, they've all had like playtime on Genji before. So I guess there's some kind of skill transfer between Genji and Doomfist.
I think it just depends on the person, because like Genji, like when I first picked up this game, like any game I play, I always play like the hero that requires like a high reaction speed or is like a really hard character to play, because like that's what I find fun. And have you ever played League before?
League of Legends?
Yeah.
No, I'm not into MOBAs myself.
Okay, so basically there's this character called Katarina. She basically, every time she gets a kill, she gets a big cooldown reset, and sometimes it's enough to get your abilities, like all your abilities back right away, and like Genji was similar to that, so I just picked up Genji. I got placed 2200 and I climbed to plat the same season. Then the next season I got to gold, and I was figuring out a lot of people play Genji, so I had to learn another hero, so I just picked Hanzo. I like old Hanzo better. I don't like the new Hanzo. He's more spammy now, but I ended up picking up Tracer afterwards, and I gave up on Tracer like 3 times because she was really difficult for me. But I picked up Tracer again, and I wanted to get good with her. I lowered my sensitivity, I changed my mindset with her, and I got to 3.8 with her. Then Doomfist bugs were apparently getting fixed at the time, so I picked up Doomfist. I dropped to 3.6. Then I did my placements the next season, and I got low master. Then I dropped to diamond, and people were reporting me to get off of Doomfist shit because like he was considered a troll pick, and I had like 20 hours on him in quick play. And I got silenced. I left team chat, voice chat, match chat. I changed my playstyle on Doomfist because like I used to play super aggressive and like I didn't know when to always enter a fight and shit. Like I didn't have problems with doing his combos. Like my issue was I didn't know when to pretty much go in, and once I figured out when to do that, I just skyrocketed from Diamond to GM in the season with him. And then season 10, I didn't want to play Doomfist anymore because he was still full of bugs and shit. And like I'm just like, okay, yeah, this hero's still garbage. And the first 2 days, people were telling me to play Doomfist because, like, you look at my stats, you could see I was a master with Tracer and Genji, and all of a sudden I picked up Doomfist. I'm at a GM with them, and people were reporting me for that, and then I got banned. And that pretty much tells me people are reporting me because I'm not playing Doomfist. So I'm literally forced to play Doomfist, even though I fucking hate him.
It's
Like,
kind
it
of
makes
bad.
sense. Like,
It's kind of a bad system by Blizzard. Like anyone can report you for anything. It doesn't really make sense, I think.
oh yeah, like you don't even have to do anything. Like you just literally play the game and get false reported for no reason. You don't even have to say a single word. If you just get reported by a bunch of people, it just goes into your account, and then once it hits that ban limit or punishment limit, just get punished, and you can't appeal it. They just be like, "Oh, too bad, we can't appeal it." It's just like whatever. Like the report system is super weird. Let's say you said the F word. Like if I said the F word right now and you report me for abusive chat, and then 5 seasons later, I get a 5 stack on my team that decides to report me for abusive chat even though I didn't say anything, I'm gonna get punished for what I said 5 seasons ago. Because I said the F word. That's another reason how it works. So like I've been silenced a bunch of times, and I when I contacted them, like they don't tell you what you said. But, like I kept annoying them, like, tell me, what did I say? What did I say? And like they mentioned something I said months ago, and like I haven't even caught like legit toxic reports since then. I was just getting a bunch of reports because I was playing troll picks like Hanzo and Doomfist, and I'm just whatever, dude. Like the report system is super abusable. Like if you ever just hate somebody, just report them for game sabotage and just make up bullshit, and then you don't even have to type anything. Just report them, and like they'll get punished. It doesn't even matter. Like the report system is super abusable.
Yeah, I've gotten so many reports just for like when I one-trick Doomfist. I think people automatically assume that it's going to be a loss.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like I had a game where I just picked Doomfist, and this guy named XXS Tentacion, he decided to throw just because I played Doomfist, and at the end of the game he's like, report our Doomfist. Like I didn't even do anything. He was literally the one throwing the game. Like he wanted to lose on purpose. And like it wasn't because I died first. It wasn't because I was feeding. Like he just instantly, before the game started, picked Sim. He has 4 hours on Sim, and he's a May 1 trick. And he just wanted me to lose pretty much. And like he reported me. Pretty sure he probably did report me. And he went and match chat. He's like, report Doomfist and avoid him. And I didn't even do anything. Like he's just fucking salty. No fucking reason.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot. Like when I watch a stream, I guess at GM they're a lot more serious as well about the game, so they get probably more toxic than in my diamond games.
I think like the difference in toxicity is just that if you die at a lower elo, like the more mistakes you make at a higher elo, the more everybody will notice and the more they will talk shit to you about it. But like in a lower elo, you can constantly die and like nobody will say anything because it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like you can't just die for no fucking reason, or like if you try to like go and feed, like nobody's gonna say anything. But like at a higher elo, they're gonna say stuff just because it's like you shouldn't be getting punished that easily, or like you shouldn't be feeding. Like you have to be more aware on like dying. Like you can't just keep dying over and over, and like you have to regroup. You shouldn't waste your ult. Like I know, like on my diamond, my ult account, sometimes when I'm near where I'm at diamond, I have Zens like 1v6ing and they just decide to waste their ultimate. And like if you're in GM and that happened, they're gonna like shit talk the fuck out of you, and like they're gonna literally report you because like you shouldn't be doing diamond plays like that at such an elo. That's like the difference in terms of toxicity. Like, people mainly brag about how their account is like literally 20 SR higher than you and shit like that, or they'll call you like hard stuff. 41 and like they're literally 42. Like, I mean, every elo's toxic. It's just they're toxic in their own way.
Yeah, I think I've been suspended once for like 1 week for gameplay sabotage and inactivity. It was kind of dumb, but I never really bothered to appeal it because I knew they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, they just don't give a shit. That's why this game is one of the best. League of Legends also has a garbage report system. Like I went against I was solo queuing, and I went against I think it was like a 4-stack, but like they made themselves appear as a solo queue. Like they didn't make it seem like they were 4-stacking. Like you can't really tell if people are 4-stacking or not. And one of them decided to throw the game, and I went in match chat. I'm like, oh, report this guy. He's throwing. Like he sold all of his ability items and bought like troll items. Like he bought 6 of the same items, and like that's considered trolling. And I'm like, oh, report this guy. And then another person on my team started trolling the same way, and I found out there were 4-stacks later on. And they all went in match chat. They're like, oh, report me because I'm not the one throwing. And I go in match chat, and I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? And then even the enemy team was like, yeah, report this guy, he's not throwing. And I'm just like, what? Like, I literally got reported because I'm not the one trolling. And like, we lost the game. I got a bunch of reports and I got permabanned. I was like, okay, whatever. I appeal it on League of Legends. They're like they can't lift it up, and like I'm just like, what, dude? Like I didn't do anything. Like, I was the one not trolling. Like I was the only one playing for real, and like they were even telling me to like kill myself and shit like that. Like it's literally in the chat logs. Like they can go check that out. Like it's the same shit with here. Like the report system is just fucking awful and abusable.
I was just thinking about something you said about like not knowing when to go in. I think that's one of my biggest problems. Like I noticed I don't really understand when I should be aggressive, when I should play defensively. Maybe that's something holding me back. But I noticed I wasn't playing aggressively enough when I got to Diamond, because I thought like these guys are really good, and it feels like you're gonna die instantly as soon as you go, as soon as you dive. But you kind of have to be aggressive.
Rising uppercut.
Yeah, it's been interesting, like hearing your point of view on Doomfist.
Hello there. Meteor strike.
Okay, I'm back. So okay, to your question about like when to go in, like let's say there's a Zen, and he looks pretty lonely. Um, I mean, that's a free kill right there. Just figure out like where you can escape to afterwards.
Yeah.
Like if you die, like let's say you dive the Zen, and you end up dying. Why did you die? Who killed you? Why did they kill you? How did they kill you? Let's say McCree was next to Zen, he flashed you, right-clicked you. Okay, don't go in next time when he's next to McCree, or don't go in when McCree has his flash, and like that's when you need to start paying attention to cooldowns and stuff like that. You just have to figure out like why you're dying and why you're getting kills and how you're getting kills and how you're not getting kills. Like let's say you dive literally a lonely Zen in the corner, like all by himself. You go and dive him, do your combo. He doesn't die. Why didn't he die? Well, you missed all your primaries, so improve on your primary fire. Like you just always want to question why and how and all of that shit, and pay attention to your cooldowns all the time. Learn how to hit your primaries, learn your combos, learn when to go in, when to get out. Learn from your mistakes, learn when to use your ultimate. The hardest part about Doomfist is the game sense on him, not necessarily learning his combos and all of that. Like I guess you could say it's difficult if you're not really like a gamer, I guess. But I think you said you're in Diamond, right, or Low Master?
Yeah. I'm diamond.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should be pretty much good enough to at least do his combos properly and know all of his combos. You just need to learn when to go in and when to get out. Like let's say you're over here and you know there's a McCree there shooting. He shot like 4 bullets. You heard him use his flash. You know he has two bullets left or whatever, and he has no flash. He's a free kill. You just dive him. He rolls away. You can just fuck him up. You can also like bait out flash. So like here, stand like there. Like let's say there's a McCree right at that. Like let's say you're McCree. Yeah, I'll go here then. Oh yeah, you can go there. Yeah, like let's say you're McCree, and I punch at you like this. Like you're gonna flash me, obviously. It's clear I'm charging my punch. I'm looking at you. He knows you're doing that. So what you could do, you can bait it. You can either, like let's say you can pretend you're going there and then just flick and punch him. He's not gonna expect that. Or you can troll his flash by like charging your punch, looking at him, and just going like that, and like bait him out. You can also really quickly, you want to look at him directly and like you end up flicking this direction or this direction, and you'll be able to do like 2 180s on him, and it would look something like this. Like they just get lost as fuck from there. Like even if he does flash you, like let's say he even hits the flash on you, he's not gonna do that much damage on you. But you just bait out stuff like that. Or you could just be like don't even go for him, just like pretend you're going for him and then go for somebody else. Like especially with tracers and shit, like if there's a tracer here or a Moira or a Reaper and I'm charging my punch looking at them, they're just gonna use the fade ability, Wraith, or blink away. But if I'm looking at you or looking at a different direction and I just flick at them, they're dead. They're not gonna expect it.
Yeah, I've done that before, but not like deliberately. I've sort of done it on accident. I find that Roadhog is one of my biggest weaknesses. Probably McCree as well. So
what part of that is your weakness? Like, what do you think it is?
like when he hooks me, I feel like I dodged it, but for some reason his hook still somehow connects with me. So it's kind of hard to evade.
Alright, so I don't play Hog, but every time I get hooked by him, it feels bullshit as fuck, so just always assume it's bullshit. Don't put yourself in a position where you can get hooked, and don't go in unless you know he doesn't have hook. If he hooks you every time you're diving somebody, just don't even dive them. Just be a punch bot until he wastes his hook, and then you could do a different playstyle.
you find that Sombra is really hard to deal with, or do you have a solution for her? Like, she doesn't really impact you that much.
So oh yeah, and also in that fight, you could see how like he knew I was focusing somebody else or going for somebody else, and I just baited him out with my punch. Like he could have flashed me right there and fucked me over if I was looking at him the whole time. But with Sombra, she used to give me a lot of issue, but you want to think like a Sombra player. You want to think how she's gonna hack you, what's her plan, what she's gonna do. Like, I don't play Sombra at all. Like, if you see me play Sombra sometimes, like, I don't even do good with them. Like, I think Sombra's a brain-dead character, but that doesn't mean, like, I can go pick her up and be a fucking top 500 with her. Like, I think Widow's brain-dead, but I don't think I can go pick her up and become top 500 with her. Like, maybe if I put just a little bit of time and effort into learning them, I could, but every time you get hacked, why did you get hacked? So, let's say for this point, let's say you're chilling up here, and Sombra's like right over there on the bridge, and she just gets out of invisibility and hacks you. Well, look at the position you're in. You're wide open. She can hack you 360 degrees. Try to put yourself in a closed position. So like, try to be over here. Now, if you're over here and she tries to hack you, you can stop it. She's down here, you shoot her. She's down there, you shoot her. She's down there, you shoot her. She's up there, you shoot her. It will be a lot harder for her to hack you. Now let's say she's not hacking you wide open. She only hacks you every single time you do your combo. Like, let's say there's a Zen right here. You dive him, mid combo, you get hacked, and you're just like, oh, I'm dead. Don't let her do that. Just don't go for kills like that again. Wait until she hacks somebody else. Like, her hack is pretty loud, so you'll know when she's using it. Always put yourself in like a closed areas just so she can't get you. Like on watch point. Is it watch? Yeah, no, it's full sky. Oh, sorry. Like, you want to figure out how and why she's hacking you, and like, what would you think would make it harder for her to hack you? Like, what position can you be in? Or like,
I guess on the high ground, you could take the high ground and try and evade the EMP if you expect.
That too, you know, that being on high ground can help a lot as well. But like let's say over here, if Sombra's up here and she's gonna hack you, that's gonna be really hard to cancel that hack. So like, well, you can be up here then, but she can still kind of hack you even when she's below. But like, you kind of want to hug walls and shit. Try not to be like so open about your whole body. On this map, if you're like over here, like your team's over here and shit, Sombra can just go right here, anywhere here, and just hack you up there, literally anywhere. She can just, I don't know, she do some stupid shit and just hack you every single time. So like, be at a different position, be like ahead of your team, like be away from them, be like somewhere where you could stop a Sombra really easily. Like if you're standing in this corner, like right here, she can only hack you if she's there or anywhere here. That's it. And like you can easily shoot her to stop that hack, or if like needed, you could just like throw your ultimate out if she's about to hack you. Usually on this map, if there's a Sombra and like every single time I go for my combo and she always hacks me, I'll just go over here and I'll just chill over here. I'll be at a spot where it'll be harder for her to hack me, because like, if she comes anywhere, I can stop it a lot more easier. And like if I don't appear for a while, she's not gonna hold her hack that long. Like she's gonna hack maybe like a Reinhardt or a Wrecking Ball. She's gonna hack a priority target during a fight, and that's when you're pretty much free to go in and fight. You just want to figure out like how and why she's hacking you, and how do you think you can kind of counter it. Like you always want to question everything that's going on. Like think about your positioning. Like, I mean, this is kind of a stupid spot, but like let's say you're chilling here. Okay, why is this positioning bad? Well, if there's like a Widow there, or she hooks up into the air, you're literally a free kill. So how can you prove that? I mean, you could just chill right behind here. You can't see anything, they can't see you. Like, it's just stuff like that. Like, you just want to question everything, and like that's the hard part, because you have to do all of these things in the middle of a fight, in the middle of a game. You want to keep a track of like everyone's abilities and shit.
This is kind of a niche thing, but do you ever find using the emotes to get your third-person view, is that helpful? Or like, say
Oh
if
yeah,
I was
definitely. I wouldn't dance though. I would use the sit one. It makes your hitbox smaller and it lasts pretty much forever, and your character doesn't make any noises other than him like hitting the floor. Like I'll show you one map where I like to use, like, it works on it pretty much any hero, but I mean, I definitely use it as much as I can. I'm like, I don't use it every single time, but like it depends on the spot I'm in. So like on Junkertown, a really nice one is pretty much in this corner. You can literally see everything. Like you can see all the characters that are coming out of spawn. You can hear them, you can see them, you could see above and below. Like I use this one a lot. It works on any hero. Like if you're dancing, I can hear your character dancing. I could see the fist coming out of the wall. Like you could see it as well. Like he makes noises and like he comes out the wall. So like I would recommend to take a Neo mode.
Yeah, I need to buy that. Pay to win.
Yeah, pretty much. Another map that I like to do it on is Ilios. This one's pretty useful. It's because you're basically set up for a slam uppercut combo. It's not this map though. But like sometimes it's just hard to do it because it's not this one. Oh my god. It's hard to do it because you don't know when they're coming pretty much. I mean, wait, is it Ilios? No, it's
Only through conflict.
what map is that? It's like Gardens or something. Oasis, yeah, Oasis.
Welcome to Oasis.
I think it's Oasis Gardens. Yeah, this one. Like a really useful one I like to do is works on attack and defense. I mean, not attack, but like works on any team. You could be in like this corner and just crouch right here, and you can pretty much see them. I mean, if you want to go even further and like hide behind this whole wall, I mean, you can do that too, but you kind of see less. I mean, you're a little more hidden though. Works on both sides. I mean, it's pretty useful if you're like set up for a combo. Or, like if you're up here and you don't want to peek and make yourself obvious, just do that. Just remember, like, when you're in that animation, it's gonna take a bit to get out of it. So just kind of like get out of it as soon as you can, because you will get punished if you take too long to get out of it. That's the only thing.
Yeah, one thing I struggle with is like paying attention to the sound cues. So like, say if I'm hiding somewhere, or if I'm trying to do a rollout, I don't know when to expect them to come. So I don't know when to use my E. That's
Here, I'll show you. I'm gonna show you. Hold on. Can you hear me when you're alt tabbed?
I'm just using the overlay. Yeah, I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so that clip alone, I know exactly where the fairy is just based on sound. Like, I don't even need to see her. Like, I'm literally looking at her just based on sound. Even if she uses her shift, like, I'll just know where she is just based on sound. Like, even footstep-wise, like, if somebody's walking, I'll know exactly where they are just because, like, sound is very important. Like, there was actually recently a deaf guy who got to, like, literally a high, I think it was, like, mid or high GM, and he's deaf. So it's, like, he doesn't even need sound. Well, I mean, like, sound does help a lot. Like, it definitely tells you where they are.
Because like one thing I noticed when I watch streamers, some streamers they'll play music while they stream, so it's like they don't really pay attention to the game sounds very much. I guess they already know when to expect something, or they kind of have the game sense to make up for it, I guess.
I mean, if you play music low enough where you can kind of hear the music and the game, but like, I get more distracted when I'm listening to music and playing like a game competitively, but like, especially when I'm playing like a battle royale, or like either like back then PUBG or at the moment Battlefield 5 and Apex, like I need sound to like hear where people are. Like a lot of times you could die just because you can't hear footsteps pretty much. Like footsteps help a lot. I mean, you can't be good without them, but like it just gives you so much information. And I think it's also possible to play music on stream without you hearing it yourself. Like you can like make a virtual audio where you can't hear it on your own computer, but other people can hear it. Like I don't know if you ever seen people like use their mic to play music through it. Like you can make it so you can hear that, and you can make it so you can't hear that. So like I can just hold my mic like this, and like not even hear anything. Just hold my mic button, you'll be able to hear music. Like that's also possible to do. Like I don't do that. I just don't like playing music on stream. Like unless I'm playing like casually and like not giving a fuck if I die or whatever, or playing something competitively, I'll play music.
Yeah, I think I kind of prefer streamers that don't play music. It's kind of distracting, like, because when I watch streams, I mainly watch to learn how to improve. So I don't really care about the music.
Same. Like sometimes on my alt account, I would play music while playing, but like it just distracts me. Like I'm not paying attention to the game itself.
Do you play in East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Okay, because I was thinking it must be really late for you, like in America, because I'm from the UK, and it's like 10. Oh no, oh right, yeah, I forgot you're behind us. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, it's been really interesting talking to you and like getting your point of view. Do you mind if I upload this to my my YouTube?
Damn, you recorded this whole thing? That's like what, 2 hours?
Yeah, just to pick up any. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I could try to like edit it down, but I don't really do editing.
Oh, look at this couch. It's a nice color, right?
You know, one weird thing I noticed is this skin on Doomfist. He has like an Apex logo on it, like Apex Legends, the same color.
Oh yeah, yeah, that looks really weird. I don't know why. It looks like the same font too, but I don't know. This skin gives me the most bugs on Doomfist. I don't know why.
Do you think that's actually a thing? Like skins giving you bugs?
I mean, it's possible, but like, it's not like I'm gonna 100% go and test it out and like confirm that shit. But like, from my personal experience, I feel like every time I use formal, I literally get slide after slide after slide and bug after bug. And like when I use painted without the gold fist, I just get less bugs than usual. It could be just like a little placebo thing, but like I definitely notice it from my end. Like I don't know if it's 100% true that skins give you some bugs, but like I personally like formal with gold fist better. But then again, he's also like, his fist is really shiny and like his character is really bright. So like if you're painted and you're hiding in the corner, they might not notice you. Just like
yeah, I have the gold weapon for Doomfist, but I don't use it because it kind of gives you away too much.
I mean, it looks nice, but I mean, I just don't use it.
And I was thinking maybe it gives you some kind of FPS drop as well to render the sparkling effect.
Oh yeah, that actually could be possible. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have frame issues from like the specs on my computer, but like that's also possible. Like I play on everything's low, even though my computer can handle this game at high.
So yeah, your tips are really helpful. It's good to know.
Yeah, no problem.
You should keep streaming Doomfist only. It's good to watch you. Like sometimes I tune into your stream and you're on your alt account, which I understand because you're kind of fed up of playing one hero all the time. It can get boring, but it's good when you're like one tricking.
I mean, yeah, most of my fan base is like people who want to watch me play Doomfist, so it's just like I just get tired of playing them.
I'm probably gonna like keep trying to submit my videos to see how I progress with Doomfist, because I've been doing this thing where I record like randomly record a match, and I try to record the same map like to see if I've improved on that map. Like last time I did Temple of Anubis, and I sent it to Discord just to see if I've improved.
I think I saw that, but what I think is like, I mean, you're gonna be going against different comps. You're gonna have different teammates. You're gonna have better teammates. You're gonna have worse teammates. The enemy team might have like a better teammate or worse teammate, a thrower, a smurf, and so on. So it's like, it's not specifically the map that you might be bad at. It just might be playing with a certain team comp or playing with a certain enemy comp. I think if just record any of your games and watch it over personally, like if you just watch your own game, you'll be able to spot out your mistakes really easily, because like spotting your mistakes mid-game is kind of difficult. But like when I used to make my montages and shit, I was spotting my mistakes. Like I was figuring out why I was dying while editing my videos. Like I never actually like recorded full gameplay and like watched it all and be like, oh, okay, this is happening because of that. Like just literally while editing, I was learning from my mistakes and I was learning why I was doing good. And like if you're to watch your own gameplay, you'll spot your mistakes really easily. Like if you watch like your own like video and you die, just like why did you die? Like you can watch the thing frame by frame. Like you'll figure out why you died and why you didn't die and why'd you get a kill and all of that shit. You just have to put like the time and effort into it. Like me, I personally never watched my own gameplay videos aside from editing my own videos for a montage.
Yeah, I do try and do that, but then I find I kind of tune out when I'm watching myself play. I can't really pay attention and see where I went wrong. I should probably do it more often. Another thing I find is that when I record my gameplay, it actually it reduces my frame rate, so I try not to record too much.
What's your GPU?
GTX 1050, and I have like Core i5. It's not that good.
Do you use Shadowplay?
Yeah, I use Shadowplay.
If you want, you can put like all your graphics really low on your game, and you can stream like 720p at like 30 FPS, and like it'll put less load on your hardware, and you can you'll lag a little less if anything.
Yeah, I should try that actually. I just like when I make a video, I want people to see it in high quality, so I try and make it at least 60 FPS.
Well, if you're making it for somebody, then okay, yeah, that makes more sense. But like for me, I stream at 720p at 60 FPS because like my upload speed is kind of garbage. And for gameplay wise, I use Shadowplay to record everything. But like I use the instant replay because like I don't want to just record a whole match. I just record 1 minute clips every time I do something. Um, I record that at 1080p, 60 FPS. But like in game, all my settings like on videos, everything's set to low, 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 and off, and my render scale is at 75%. Like I used to play at like ultra quality, everything at the highest graphics possible, just cause like I like the way it looks, but frame wise and input lag and all of that, I just didn't like it. Like I got used to the graphics. Like when I put my graphics on like ultra or like everything on high or whatever, I'm just like, damn, this game looks good as fuck. And then I just go back to my super low settings. I'm like, I'm just used to it. Like it doesn't look bad anymore. Like at first it looks really bad, but like you don't even notice it. Like getting like the least amount of input lag is pretty good. Like if you're gonna be playing competitively, like any competitive game, majority of like pro players and shit will lower their settings to everything as low as possible just to get the maximum amount of frames, to get the least amount of input lag.
I actually overclocked my monitor's refresh rate. So like normally it's 60 hertz, but I managed to get it up to 100. That kind of made a big difference.
Oh, that's nice. 100.
Are you going to be streaming soon then, or?
No. I don't really feel like playing. I was gonna play a different game.
You play Apex Legends, right?
Yeah. My friend convinced me to get it, and I was like I like every time they hop on like a hyped royale, it always ends up being fucking garbage. Like PUBG was the first one they got me into, and like I mean there's like so many bugs on it, but like that's kind of what made PUBG fun, because of the bugs. Then they hopped on Fortnite, and I was just like, no, that's not happening. And then I made them hop on Mavericks, which is like still in like a really early alpha game, and they kept telling me to get on Apex, and I was like, no, but I finally gave it a try, and like I was surprised on how good it really was. Like the ping system is good, the characters are good, like everything about it was just, it's like a better PUBG. Like it's not the same thing as PUBG, but it's just like they did everything that PUBG should have done at first. Like the looting system is literally perfect. The ping system is perfect. I like the abilities of certain characters, like Pathfinder. Like he's my favorite character because of the mobility. That's pretty much what I go for, mobility characters, like on any game.
Yeah, it's like a really polished version of PUBG, I think. Like it's probably the most polished battle royale at the moment.
Yeah, and it's free too, so like that's just impressive alone. And
I
like
hope
the
they
fan
add.
base isn't 10-year-olds.
Yeah, I hope they add some kind of melee-based character like Doomfist. That would be so cool.
I think the only thing melee related to have would be Pathfinder hooking people, but I don't even think that does damage. So that would be cool.
To be honest, I think I might start playing Apex Legends as well a bit more. It's pretty good. I just find it boring. Like a lot of the time you just spend walking around and not doing anything.
I mean, if that's the case for you, just always land in hot zones. That's what I do. I mean, it just makes the game go by quicker. Because if you always land at spots where like nobody goes to, like you'll go loot for like 10 minutes, and then you might take a while to find a fight, and then you just lose, and then you just like wasted 10 minutes of looting, and then you had like 1 minute of fighting. So like I always just drop in hot zones and get good loot, and then you can just start fighting right away. And like, I think that's like the fastest way to learn as well, because like you're just always in action rather than just AFK looting.
Yeah, I need to try that actually. I tried Fortnite, but I didn't like the visual design of it. It's like really childish, I think.
Yeah, I never played it personally, but like just watching gameplay, it looks really bad. Like, it's not just the graphics wise, it's gameplay wise, and plus I hate third person games, so that's another issue for me. And the fan base is 10-year-olds, and like I think the dances are really cringe. Like Call of Duty is rated for like Call of Duty is rated M, but like majority of the fan base of Call of Duty is younger children, and like you know that's true when they added those little dances in one of their Call of Duties, and I think it was like Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4. Like they added those cringe Fortnite dances. Like I know Fortnite didn't like create those dances, but like they added those cringy dances.
But yeah, it's been really good. I'm gonna probably head off now. It's been really interesting.
Hello. Thank you.
I hope you keep streaming, like, because I always learn something like when I watch your stream. It's good.
Learn to feed and die, yeah, I got you. Learn to throw games to focus a single hero. The best. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend watching my streams to get better at the game, to be honest. I just try to go for like style kills just for the fucks of it. Like I don't care. Like I don't like if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. But like I still like report like toxic people or like people that throw the game. Like it affects other people's as well. And I'm pretty sure me focusing fair only affects other people. But like it's whatever.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to like play for your own fun, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like the way I see it is like I bought the game, I'll play what I want. Like I had like this one duo guy. He went Widow because they had a Pharaoh, but like I killed Pharaoh 2 times in a row and made the Pharaoh swap to McCree. And like our Widow started talking shit to me that I wasn't doing anything, and I'm just like, okay, dude. Like if I made a Pharaoh swap to a McCree as a Doomfist and you're playing Widow, then I think you're not doing shit. Especially if you want Widow to try to counter a Pharaoh.
Do you find that because you're not really a one trick, but you do play mostly Doomfist? Do you think that eventually you kind of just learn to deal with your counters? Like it's not that much of a problem. Because a lot of people say if they have a Sombra on the other team, it's like a super hard counter and you can't really do anything. But I don't really find that to be the case when I play against a Sombra. I sort of know what to expect, and I can play around it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I've had people switch to McCree to counter me, and then like that McCree isn't countering me, so like they get a Brigida and a McCree that isn't countering me, and then they get a Sombra, McCree, and a Brigida, and like that still isn't countering me. It's because like I learned how to play against it. Like I'm not saying I can play against it every single time perfectly fine, but like oh that rhymed by the way. What the fuck? Like I can play against it, and like sometimes when they go Sombra, McCree, and Brigida, my team would be like, oh, get off of Doomfist, they're running 3 of your counters, and I'm like, just because they're running 3 of my counters doesn't mean they're countering me. Like they didn't even counter me. Like I had a game where my mate told me to get off of you'll actually see it in 11.0 in like the beginning where like I was floating on Hanamura. He told me like, oh, you need to get off of Doomfist, they're running Brigida, McCree, and I don't think they were running Sombra, and I'm like, it doesn't matter that they're running that comp, like they're not doing anything to me. He's like, them just existing can stop you from like going in. Like, okay, it kind of makes sense, but like that's when I have to know when to go in. So their team starts pushing. I killed the Brigida by myself, and then I killed the McCree by myself, like literally all by myself. And I'm like, oh look, the look how hard the Brig and McCree are hard countering me. Like, I just killed them all on my own, and like he didn't say shit afterwards. And like they weren't countering me. Like, just because they are my counters doesn't mean they're countering me. And that's what people need to understand. Like, it doesn't matter what hero. Like they can run every single Doomfist counter in the game and not counter you properly.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of people, they just believe that if you play one character, then it sort of invalidates the other, but it's not the case. Like, if you spend enough time like playing the hero, you're going to be better. Like,
yeah, you'll learn how to play like against your counters, kind of. Even though they'll still sometimes counter you, and like sometimes they'll just make you not be able to, like, their position is so good where you can't dive anybody, and like that's like when I realized that's what they're doing. That's when I just swapped to like Hanzo or Junkrat, because I could just spam and like I could still do a lot of work. Like if I were to try to play Genji or Tracer, like I'm not gonna do that good because I don't play them at a GM level. But like with Hanzo and Junkrat, I don't need to play them at a GM level to put in work. That's why I play a lot of Junkrat and Hanzo. It's not like I always play Junkrat on certain maps, but like with the new Hanzo, I can literally just spam arrows and get kills. Like he's not a difficult hero to play. He does a lot of work with minimal effort. But like with Genji and Tracer, you need to be really good with them to do any sort of effort, and especially playing at an elo where I can't play them in, I need to do a lot of work, and like that's just not happening. Like sometimes I do go Genji and Tracer when I know it's like a very obvious loss, just so I can kind of play them at a higher elo and just kind of see how it works out. Like even though we have a troll or a lever or something, like I just want to play them just to like see how people counter me, just so I can like figure out the difference between Master and GM with those heroes. Yeah, I'm gonna hop off because I don't want to keep you busy. Then
yeah,
I'm
all right.
doing something else.
Yeah, thanks for the interesting conversation. It's been good.
Yeah, no problem.
All right then. Good luck with the stream and stuff.
Thank you. Get to top 500 easy.
Hopefully. See you. Bye.
Hello there.
Oh, one last thing. Can I just save the custom game settings before you leave?
Oh yeah. You know how without making you owner?
Okay, thanks.
Wait, you got it? Wait, did you save it?
Yeah, I got it. I think I've got it.
Okay. I pretty much have like infinite cooldowns on every single hero except Baptiste isn't enabled because he recently came out and like I don't really care about editing it, but yeah.
Then yeah.
I'm going to make
Oh, one last thing.
Hello.
Just final thing. What would you suggest to practice like 180s doing?
Oh,
Quick
here, I'll give you a custom game. This literally made me like this game mode, dude. Like made me practice my 180s perfectly every single time. Well, I mean, I'm not. I probably need to practice more because I'm getting a little rusty on it, but. Hold on, this game is kind of dead, so it might take a bit.
I seem to be stuck in the loading screen.
Yeah, this game's fucking stupid. Let me remake the game because this game's garbage. I can't even leave the game. Oh my god. Hold on.
It's alright.
I think it worked. Hopefully it doesn't kick you out. So this game mode. Oh wait, okay, you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let me enable. I used to use this game mode to practice like my tracking with Tracer, Then I also started practicing my 180s,
Now
and I'll show you what I did. So, can you pick Tracer? I don't know if it lets us both pick it. I might need to fix it. Yeah, I can. So, I would come right here. So this pole, I can go right through. So I would be at like a distance maybe like here, and I would just blink in 180, and I would make sure I keep looking at it, and I would just keep repeating that over and over and over until I learn it. But like, the thing is, so if I put my mouse in the middle right now, and I look at this like dead in the center, and I do a blink 180, and like let's say okay, it's kind of, it might sound a little weird, but okay, if I put my mouse in the middle, I blink 180 to the right, and then I blink 180 to the left. I'm learning how to move right and left with 180s. Like I could just repeat that same movement. But the thing is, you're not always going to be at the center of your mouse pad. Like you might be a little bit more to the right. So every time you 180, lift your mouse and put it back at a different position, and then try to 180 again. So you don't learn, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like you just don't learn how to move your hand left, right, left, right. Like you learn how to move it left, then left, then left, and then right, and then right. So like you learn how to do a 180 with your sensitivity. You just keep repeating this so you get used to it. Like you always want to make sure you're looking at the little pole, or at least if you're just near looking at it, you should be okay. And like if you happen to over flick it, just know that, oh, I should flick a little bit less, and just always make sure you don't have aim excel on. This is what I use to practice my 180s personally, because like using games like Aimtastic, Aim Hero, or games like that, like you weren't able to practice 180s. At least I didn't know how. But with this one, I can practice them pretty well.
Yeah, I guess you eventually get the muscle memory for just so you know
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the exact distance to move your mouse.
But just make sure, like, if you 180 to the left or 180 to the right, pick your mouse up and put it back in the center, because like you're gonna learn the wrong 180s. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like, if I hold my mouse like in the center right now and I just move my wrist left and right, if I move my wrist as far as left as possible, then as far as right as possible, like you can get that same exact spot every single time, because like you're doing the same movement. But like let's say you're like moving your hand and shit, and you try to repeat that, like it's not gonna work. Like that's why if you just move your mouse left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, like, you're gonna learn how to do 180s like that. But like if you 180 to the right and you pick up your mouse, put it somewhere else, and try to do a 180, you're probably not gonna hit that 180 again. Like you're gonna have to like practice that part. Like try to do two 180s to the left, like 180 to the left, and then pick your mouse up and put it somewhere else, and then try to do another 180 to the left, and you're probably not gonna even do a 180 properly. Like you might over flick it or under flick it. Well, if you were playing Tracer, then like yeah, it would make sense, because like you can just be like flick left, right, left, right, left, right. Like that would make sense. But if you're like on Doomfist or something, then it might be a little different. I mean, it doesn't hurt to learn it like that either.
Yeah. I guess learning 180s with Doomfist is really important. Like when you slam behind them and stuff, it's probably important to learn.
I'm gonna send you one.
Yeah, that was nice.
My ultimate's ready.